Good morning, everyone. We're going to do a little different thing this year. We're going to have each graduate walk in, and they're going to have a little introduction for each of them. We ask them some questions, and these are their answers. Bradley Baker. Bradley is 6 years old, 8 inches tall, and weighs 5 pounds. If Bradley could change his name, he would be called Buddy. His favorite thing at school is math, and his favorite at home is playing with Jackson. If Bradley could be a superhero, his name would be Volcano with a superpowered fire. In 20 years, he will be 20 years old and be living in a house. As an adult, he would like to have 3 children and get a job on a SWAT team where he will stop crime. After fighting crime all day, Bradley would like to go home to relax and play with his kids. Mercy Blakey. Mercy is 6 years old, 8 inches tall, and weighs 20 pounds. If Mercy could change her name, she would be called Ren. Her favorite thing at school is PE, and her favorite at home is playing with Mom. If Mercy could be a superhero, her name would be Spider-Girl, and her superpower would be shooting webs. In 20 years, she will be 20 years old and living in Scotland. As an adult, she will not have children, but will join the Army where she will work on the computer. After working all day, Mercy will go home to relax and play games. Peter Cloza alone. Peter is 6 years old, 8 inches tall, and weighs maybe 100 pounds. Peter likes the name Peter and wouldn't change it. His favorite thing at school is math, and his favorite at home is playing on his Nintendo Switch. If Pete could be a superhero, superpower would be lightsabers. In 20 years, he will be 10 years old and living in a house. As an adult, he would like to have 2 children and get a job like his mom where he will cut hair. After being on his feet all day, he would like to go home, relax, and play video games with his kids. Deacon Beaver. Deacon is 6 years old, 3.3 inches tall, and weighs 3.8 pounds. If Deacon could change his name, he would like to be called Miles. His favorite thing at school is math, and his favorite at home is practicing baseball. If Deacon could be a superhero, his name would be Village, and his superpower, Ice. In 20 years, he will be 24 years old and living in New York. As an adult, Deacon would like to have 7 children and get a job as a farmer and work cattle. After a hard day in the field, he would go home and play video games. Eleanor Dangle. Eleanor is 6 years old, is 10 inches tall, and weighs 11 pounds. If she could change her name, it would be Rosalina. Eleanor's favorite thing at school is recess, and at home it is playing with her brother and sister. If she could be a superhero, her name would be Rosalina, and her superpower, magic. In 20 years, she will be 15 years old and living in Iowa. As an adult, Eleanor would like to have 4 children, just like her mom, become a teacher, and so she could tell the students what to do. After working all day, she would go home to watch TV and eat snacks with her kids. Rhiannon Canal. Rhiannon is 6 years old, 5 inches tall, and weighs 10 pounds. If she could change her name, it would be Rosie. Rhiannon's favorite thing at school is math, and at home she likes to play with her toy. If she could be a superhero, she would be Supergirl, and her power would be lightning. In 20 years, she will be 20 years old and living in a hotel. As an adult, Rhiannon would like to have 1 child, become an astronaut, and take pictures of the moon for her friends. After a hard day at work, she would go home and play with the claw machines. Kason Fisher. Kason is 6 years old, 4 inches tall, and weighs 51 pounds. If Kason could change his name, it would be Miles. His favorite thing to do at school is math, and his favorite at home is doing dishes. If he could be a superhero, his name would be Carson, and he would be throwing fireballs. In 20 years, he will be 19 years old and living in an apartment. As an adult, he would like to have 2 children and get a job in the Army to fight. After working hard all day, he would go home and sit on the couch. Edwin Fry. Edwin Fry, 6 years old, 6 inches tall, and weighs 6 pounds. If Edwin could change his name, he'd like to be called Ed. His favorite thing at school is schoolwork, and at home it is playing on the trampoline. If Edwin could be a superhero, his name would be George, and his power, Ice. In 20 years, Edwin will be 24 years old and living on a farm. He doesn't believe he will have any children. And as an adult, he would like a job in the school to work with the kindergarten. After a long day with the students, he would go home to relax by playing games. Rhett Gross. Rhett is 5 years old, 5 inches tall, and weighs 52 pounds. If he could change his name, it would be to Papa. Rhett's favorite thing at school is math, and at home he enjoys jumping on a trampoline. If Rhett could be a superhero, his name would be Pokey Smash, and his superpower would be being strong. In 20 years, Rhett will be 25 years old and living in Scotland. As an adult, he would like to have 2 children, get a job fixing tractors and changing oil. After fixing things all day, he'd like to go home and play with his kids. Haley Gutierrez. Haley is 6 years old, 17 inches tall, and weighs 60 pounds. If she could change her name, it would be to Rosie. Haley's favorite thing at school is homework, while at home she likes to play outside. If Haley could be a superhero, she would be called Supergirl, and her superpower would be ice. In 20 years, she will be 17 years old and living in Scotland. As an adult, she doesn't think she'll have any kids, but she'd like to get a job as a cop so she can stop people from going fast. After keeping her town safe all day, she'd like to go home and play outside. Aiden Mayoff. Aiden is 6 years old, 16 inches tall, and weighs 50 pounds. If Aiden could change his name, he'd like to be called Ethan. His favorite thing to do at school is learn, and at home he likes to eat. If Aiden could be a superhero, his name would be Mighty, and his superpower is to be strong. In 20 years, Aiden will be 26 years old and living in Minnesota so he can watch the Vikings play. As an adult, Aiden would like to have 4 children, get a job playing football, and try to win. After a long day at practice, he would come home to relax and play with his children. Blaze Rock. Blaze is 6 years old, 40 inches tall, and weighs 50 pounds. If he could change his name, it would be to Landon. His favorite thing at school is math, and at home he likes to play with his brother. If Blaze could be a superhero, his name would be Max, and his superpower would be going fast. In 20 years, he will be 26 years old and living at LSU. As an adult, he would like to have 1 child, sell insurance, and do taxes. After a long day in the office, Blaze would like to relax with his friends and family. Riot Sechi. Riot is 6 years old, 10 inches tall, and weighs 65 pounds. If Riot could change his name, he would like to be known as Jack. His favorite thing at school is math, and at home he likes to play. If Riot could be a superhero, he'd like to be Spider-Man, and his superpower would be flying. In 20 years, he'll be 30 years old and living in Scotland. He's not sure about children in his future. As an adult, he would like to get into trucking so he can haul wood. After a full day of driving a truck, Riot would like to relax and play video games. Lance Stewart. Lance is 5 years old, 55 inches tall, and weighs 6 pounds. If he could change his name, he'd like to be called Winner. Lance's favorite thing at school is art, while at home he enjoys feeding his horse. If he could be a superhero, he'd be known as Apple, and his superpower would be to fight fire. In 20 years, he'll be 28 years old and living in Georgia. As an adult, Lance would like to have 9 children, get a job as a truck driver hauling corn and beans. After driving all day, he would like to relax by taking his kids to the playground. Kinsley Whittle. Kinsley is 5 years old, 6 inches tall, and weighs 9 pounds. If she could change her name, she'd like to be called Rose. At school, her favorite thing to do is math, and while at home, she likes to watch TV. If she could be a superhero, she'd be Superwoman, and her superpower would be thunder. In 20 years, Kinsley will be 10 years old and living in Arizona. She's not planning on having children, but joining the Army and learning how to fight. After a busy day, Kinsley would like to go relax at her grandma's house. Lennon Cole. Lennon is 6 years old, 20 inches tall, and weighs 59 pounds. If she could change her name to anything, it would be Sarah. At school, her favorite thing to do is art, and while at home, she enjoys riding horses. If she could be a superhero, she would like to be Supergirl with the superpower to freeze. In 20 years, she'll be 39 years old and living in Omaha. As an adult, she would like to have 4 children, get a job as a vet to help animals. After a long day of tending to animals, Leonard would like to relax by taking a nap.
Thank you, Kat. That was awesome. I'm going to bore you with about 30 minutes of talking here, so thanks. You guys can sit down for a second. Thank you all for coming. I promise I'm not going to talk long. I was trying to think of what I was going to say about these 17 kids because, boy, are they all different. I couldn't come up with one single thing to say about them. They have been so fun. I can't believe they walked in the doors about 2 years ago, and now we're sending them on to first grade. So the only thing I want to ask them today, you guys promise me something? Yeah, this is a quote by Winnie the Pooh, and I think it fits all 17 of you really, really well. So can you promise me that you will remember to be braver, that you are braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think? You guys all promise me you'll remember that? Okay, let's turn the show on to these 17 young people.
Everybody has a name.
All
You guys ready? Okay. Brad Baker. Bradley said he wants to be a SWAT team member when he grows up. Mercy Blakely. Mercy grows up, she wants to be in the Army. Deacon Bieber. And Deacon grows up, he wants to be a farmer. I'm sorry, Peter. Peter Bozellone. When Peter grows up, he wants to be a scientist. Eleanor Dangle. When Eleanor grows up, she said she wanted to be a nurse. Rhiannon Fennell. Rhiannon says she wants to be an astronaut. Payson Fisher. This time, Payson said he wanted to be a soldier. Edwin Fry. Edwin wants to be a teacher. Rhett Gross. On this one, Rhett says he wants to be a librarian. Haley Gutierrez. Haley wants to be a policewoman. Aiden Melhoff. Aiden wants to be a football player. Blaze Rob. Blaze is a little undecided because now he wants to be a farmer. Ryan Sechi. Ryan wants to be a football player. Lance Stewart. Lance wants to be a truck driver. Kinsley Whittam. Kinsley wants to be a nurse. And Lennon Woods. Lennon wants to be a veterinarian. All right. I now present to you the kindergarten class of 2023. You guys can all turn your tassels to the other side if you want. Okay, for pictures, we're going to have